What's up, everybody? Sorry for the delay. Sometimes when you get a lot older, you tend to take a nap, and sometimes your naps go a little bit longer than you expected to. So that's what went down. But we are here now, and we're going to get ready to get this show on the road. So I thank everybody for your patience. I apologize for the delay. Make sure y'all spread the word. Titans and Truth is up and going. It is live now, and we are about to get ready to get started. Just a few minutes. I'm gonna let everybody climb on in, and we are going to get this show. We're gonna get this roll on the show. I'm kind of spreading the word to everybody too, so everybody know what's up. I see some people coming in. Marcus Mariota, what's up? Rizzo, what's up? C Dub, what's up? I'm gonna get to y'all in just a bit. Hey, look, I'm about to be 36 years old in a week or so. So I mean, hey, it happens, okay? It happens. Just kind of spreading the word. So hopefully everybody is doing real good today. And make sure y'all, like I said, spread the word out. There's a share arrow right there at the bottom. Make sure y'all share that. Make sure y'all share the show out to everybody. Let everybody know what's going on. We're about to get ready to get started, and we're definitely gonna have quite a bit to talk about as football is finally here. Football is here, and no, it shouldn't be. It could happen, but I don't think it will be. So we're gonna have some fun with that. Um, so we're gonna get started in just a second. I was trying to get my group on Facebook, but I'm having an issue with that. So not exactly as easy as I thought. Anyway, we are going to we're going to crack on, and we're going to let everybody know what's happening and what's going down. But yeah, y'all make sure y'all know y'all can follow, of course, on y'all follow me on Facebook, Titans TNT Enforcers. Make sure y'all join the page if y'all haven't done that. Subscribe to this YouTube channel as well. I want to get some more subscribers. I want to get up to 500. I want to get up to 500 by the end of this week. And then I'm gonna be giving away something. I'm gonna be giving away a prize on the Titans season prediction show that's going to be coming up. And also, y'all better remember something big is going to be happening. Titans and Truth is about to get ready to turn 100 in a few weeks. That's going to be a very big show. That's going to be a very, very big show. The Titans 100th episode is going to be coming up in 2 weeks' time. So, yeah, better get ready for that. Spread the word to everybody because that is going to be huge. And that is going to be quite big. that we're about to do. So right now I'm kind of getting my. I see more people can see me with my hat off than with my hat on. So we're about to get ready to get started in just a bit, and we are about to have a little bit of fun. So here we go. Tighten up. Let's get tightened up. Tighten up. Tighten up. It's a brand new dance and we about to go live. Tighten up, Nashville, rep the 615. First you tighten two step, step, step to the right. Then you tighten two step, step, step to the left. Blue jerseys everywhere. Game face, yeah, we got it on. Sticking out our chest, beating on it like it's King Kong. Countdown. It's about to get rough. Here come the train, y'all. Tennessee, tighten up. Tighten up. Let's get tightened up. Tighten up. Let's get tightened up. Sticking out my chest, beating on it like it's King Kong. Sticking out my chest, beating on it like it's King Kong. Tighten two step, step, step to the right. Do the tighten two step, step, step to the left. Sticking out my chest, beating on it like it's King Kong. Sticking out my chest, beating on it like it's King Kong. Okay, alright. Titans got your hands all night. Alright, okay. Titans gonna win anyway. First down, come on now, we about to shut down. All right. All right. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening, Titan Nation. How's everybody doing? Welcome into a new edition of Titans and Truth. I'm your man, Chris, aka Blue Enforcer, and we are going to have a lot of fun here this evening. And I want to thank everybody for tuning in and joining me on this Wednesday night. Was supposed to be about an hour, supposed to be done about an hour ago, but had some issues myself that I had to deal with. And so I'm glad everybody's able to tune in with me. Make sure y'all spread the word. There's that share arrow. Make sure y'all share it out. And make sure y'all tune in and make sure you tell everybody else to tune in. Of course, you can follow on Facebook at TNT Enforcers. That is the Titans fan page on Facebook. You also can follow at Titans_N_truth on Instagram and also on Twitter at TNT Blue Enforcer. That's capital TNT, capital BLU, capital EN number 4 CER on Twitter. As well. So you can definitely follow there. And we're going to have a great show. Make sure y'all share everybody out. And y'all also know that we have a big episode coming up in 2 weeks' time. It is going to be episode 100 is closely coming to fruition. So after almost 3 years of action, almost 3 years of action, we're closing in on episode 100 that's going to be coming about 2 weeks time. So I thank everybody for all the support and everything that you've given me. That's going to probably be a fan appreciation show as well. And I believe that is the week of the Steeler game. So that'll be the week of the dress rehearsal. So definitely stay tuned for that. Also, there will be a giveaway on the prediction. So that'll be right before the week, the Wednesday before the kickoff of the season. So that'll be the Wednesday before the game against the Cleveland Browns. No, I take that back. It'll be the week before the Cleveland Browns game. I'm sorry. So it'll be the week before we kick off the season because that show I want to solely focus on the Cleveland Browns. So a week before we kick off the season, that'll probably be after the last preseason game. I'm gonna check my calendar, and we'll talk about the cuts, and we'll talk about the season, and we'll go game by game prediction. I'm gonna work on trying to have some guests on the show. To try to see if I can get. I may be trying to get some guy like Teron Davenport or Buck Rising to join me on the show as we do our yearly game by game predictions and breakdown of the season coming up. So definitely stay tuned for that. But tonight's show, we're going to be talking about the preseason because everybody, whether you know it or not, Football is back. Football is going, even though it is preseason ball, and you're not going to see a lot of the big time guys on this team. We got some football going on, so that kicks off tomorrow night. They're in Philadelphia right now, prepared to take on the Philadelphia Eagles, and so they're going to be going in. We're going to have probably the starters are only going to play probably a series, maybe two, and that's about it. The defense is probably the same thing. A lot of people probably not going to be making the trip and stuff like that. So we're definitely going to find out what's going on. But again, I want to say what's up to Marcus Mariota. Was good. Let's see, Marcus Mariota, have you watched the recent Bussin' with the Boys? You know what? I have not really watched much of Bussin' with the Boys, as probably I should. I did catch up on some of the stuff that Jalen Ramsey was talking about. Of course, he's saying that if he does go on a free agency, he would, decide between either playing for the Raiders or playing for us. I mean, don't get me wrong, as a player, I think Jalen Ramsey is incredible. I think as a player, Jalen Ramsey he would up this secondary in a way that nobody could ever believe. I definitely agree with that. The problem I have with Jalen Ramsey is he talks too much. He talks too much. And that's something that John Robinson and Mike Vrabel are not going to allow. So Jalen Ramsey, if he were to ever come here as a free agent, which I don't think that's going to happen, he would have to shut his mouth. He would really have to control his mouth. And that is, that's something that could be a problem. And, the Raiders are a sideshow. And so he would fit in perfectly out there. So, I mean, that would be something that it would be interesting, but it would also be kind of scary if you ask me. Rizzo, what's up with you? C-Dub, what's up with you again? What's up, AZ Mick? What's up, Joseph? What's up, Big Joseph Rodriguez, a big time supporter and everything. Yep. So yeah, you'll be 29. Yeah, I'll be 36, and it'll actually be a week from Saturday. I will be turning 36. So yeah, that's gonna be pretty big. Big Boss 83, what's up with you? And for everybody, no, I was not at the scrimmage this past Saturday. I hate I wasn't there. As you can see, I am not in my normal man cave. I'm actually reporting live from Memphis, Tennessee. I am not back in Laverne, the Nashville area. Not yet. I was supposed to have been back there today, but I had some things come up, and I am just here a little while longer. But I am going to be returning for a while to take care of some personal business. So. But no matter what, you're gonna get the best coverage of Titans football from right here at Titans in Truth. So I'm glad everybody is here. Rizzo is the Derrick Henry. He ends up looking like you know what. So Derrick Henry dominates him. So I think at the same time, Jalen Ramsey will probably want to join us, so he ain't got to be on the other side of it. So that will be something that will be interesting going on. But let's get into this football game. So you got the Titans in their first preseason game. They're getting ready to take on the Philadelphia Eagles. This is the first action that the Titans get to go up against another team instead of just themselves. And there's quite a bit to look for in this particular game. First of all, you want to find out, you just want to see the guys actually playing football against another team. You want to see how do they do, when things are a little bit unfamiliar. Like, how game plans are going to go. The game plans are going to be extremely vanilla. There really is no game plan. There's no game planning. There's no specific strategy. There's no, we need to attack this guy or attack that guy, or we attack this weakness, or we're trying to do this or do that. There's really none of that. It's just basically they're going to call some of the basic, simple plays. They're really not going to. There we go. They're really not going to do anything extravagant. They're just going to really just do some basic vanilla football. That's all that's going to be. But there is some things to look for in that. Number one, um, number one is how does Marcus look in his first game? How does Marcus look with this offense? Is he able to get in a rhythm with his wide receivers? Is he going to get in a rhythm with Corey Davis, or get in a rhythm? Can he get back into a rhythm with Delanie Walker? How is Delanie Walker going to feel now that this is his first game since the Miami game last year? Um, you know, bring him along slowly, getting in some live football. Derrick Henry's not making the trip. AJ Brown's not making the trip, which I'm sad for that happening. But also Adam Humphries. How does he look in his first game? I think Marcus and Adam Humphries are going to have a great connection. I really do believe they are going to connect just like that. The offensive line, that is going to be a good question as well. Dennis Kelly is probably going to get to start at left tackle to get him as many reps as he can, because he's going to probably have to hold it down for the first 4 weeks while Taylor Lewan is on suspension. We know Roger Saffold is going to be at left guard. I don't know if he's going to be playing in this game very much, but I'm pretty sure he will play, and he's only going to play a series. Ben Jones at center. They're probably going to give Ben Jones some look at right guard. They're probably going to give Corey Levin some look at center. But the question is is left guard. Who's going to start at left guard? I'm thinking Kevin Pomfield is probably going to get the nod first, and then you're going to bring in Nate Davis to see how he does. But that's going to be kind of that's really one of the, I would say one of the only and probably one of the main position battles on the team, not just the offense, but that's probably the biggest offensive position battle is Nate Davis versus Kevin Pomfield, maybe even versus Ben Jones for that for that right guard position. And then how does Jack Conklin look coming back from the injury from the last 2 years of injury riddled football that he's had to deal with? Does he get back to being the same at right tackle or not? So that's something that is going to be very important in this particular game. Again, how does, Corey Davis and Adam Humphries look? Taywan Taylor and Tajay Sharp, with Cameron Batson going on IR, which I think is the short-term IR, if I'm not mistaken. So he could come back. But at the main point, there's a receiver spot open. So you already know you're going to have Corey Davis, A.J. Brown, Adam Humphries, most likely Taywan Taylor and Tajay Sharp. So that means there's an extra spot available. That could go to an uppercomer like Khalif Raymond right there. Darius Jennings might want to work his way in. And I think where Darius Jennings can do the most damage is in the return game. He's already done well at kick return. I don't know if they've had him back there for punt return, but if Darius Jennings gets a chance at catching some punts, and he does pretty well, I think that's how Darius Jennings will stick. Y'all forgive me this. I like the hat, but I I want y'all to see me. So I think that's going to be very important is Darius Jennings, what's happening with him. Anthony Ferguson, Michael Pruitt, they may only keep 3 tight ends this time on this team. So you got Delanie Walker. You most likely got Jonnu Smith coming back. Is it Ferguson or Pruitt if they decide to only keep 3? Now, they may very well keep 4, and this is not a problem. But we're definitely going to find out what's going on. But that's on the offensive side of the ball, and I haven't even gotten to the defensive side of the ball yet, which is something that we're definitely going to talk about. Rizzo says both players look like trash against Henry. That I agree. 250 yards on 4.4 yards a carry. That is quite scary. that. And talking about Delanie Walker, how does he look after the injury? That is going to be something that to pay attention to. How does he look coming out from the injury? Is he somewhat back? I know he said in an interview last week that he doesn't feel he's fully 100% back yet, but he's getting there. He says he's at about maybe 70, 75, 80%, which I will tell you this. I will take a 75 to 80% Delanie Walker any day of the week, twice on Sunday. I will take that without thinking twice. Classic Rod, what's up with you checking in? I know you're working hard on that graveyard shift. Um, Rizzo saying, have you heard about Conklin possibly filling in? I haven't really heard much about Conklin going to the left side. They've probably tried it, but I think they've really done most work with Dennis Kelly on the left side and keeping Jack Conklin on the right side as far as the tackle position. So I haven't really heard a lot about Jack Conklin working at left tackle. That's mainly been Dennis Kelly. Sharp, Tajay, Classic Roger Right. Tajay's had a pretty solid camp, but we got to see it in game time. Looking good in the preseason, looking good in training camp when you're going up against your teammates all the time is one thing. How do you look going up against a team that's wearing a different color jersey than you are is completely different. And that's where you're going to find out who the real players are. Let's see, Joseph. That Miami game for week 1 still bothers me. Should have won. I agree. That week 1 game was kind of a snowball effect. Yeah, we finished 9-7, but it kind of really messed up our entire season as a whole because just so many things happening. 2 weather delays. Marcus goes down. Delanie went down for the year. Lawan got a concussion. It was just so many things that went wrong in that game that you cannot even fathom. And that was Mike Vrabel's first game as the head coach of the Tennessee Titans. So, I mean, you're talking about trial by fire, baptism by fire, basically, was what was happening there. James Salas says it's Jennings' job to lose. Maybe it is, but we're definitely going to find out. We're definitely going to see. We wish we had Sharp, who dominated in the preseason on his rookie year. I mean, Tajay had a pretty nice rookie year. He started off well, but then he tapered off as the season went on. I mean, the main games I remember from his rookie year was the Minnesota game to open the year and the Green Bay game. That was really it. That was it. And maybe the touchdown catch he had in Indianapolis that year. That's about it. Really, with Tajay, there's really not a lot of highlights I can talk about. And I think he had a good game against the Chargers in London. Other than that, there's really not been a lot of Tajay for me to talk about. So I used to call him Tajay Mighty Sharp. He has not been that so far. But we're going to find out. We're definitely going to find out. But let's switch over to the defensive side of the ball and what are we going to be looking for. Again, Dean Pease ain't gonna go crazy with this one. We're definitely going to see. We're definitely going to see if Jarrell Casey gets out there, but I think he's on a PUP, so I think he's not going to be available. But we're going to see if some of these other guys on the defensive line can play very well. Daquan Jones, I'm so ready to get rid of him. It doesn't make any sense, but maybe he'll have a shot here. Brent Urban, of course, he's familiar with Dean Pease's defense coming from Baltimore. We'll see if he could be like that third guy on the defensive line. We're going to get a look at Cameron Wake and see what he can do at 37 years old. I know a lot of people think he could be just a spot pass rusher. Maybe he proves us wrong. I mean, Arakpo proved to be almost an every down pass rusher the last couple of years. So Cameron Wake might be able to do the same thing. We're going to see what moves Harold Landry has developed. We're going to see Sharif Finch. We're going to see undrafted rookie standout Derek Roberson get some snaps. I've been hearing quite a few good things about him coming out of camp as well. And we're going to probably see maybe if Rashaan Evans gets some play pass rushing on the outside, but I think he'll be more on the inside with Jayon Brown. I think Jayon Brown finally makes the Pro Bowl because really Jayon and Kevin Byers should have been on the top 100 list, that NFL top 100 list I talked about last week, which I thought was a sham. Even though, yes, they did get Lawan, Casey, and Henry on the list, there should have been more. But also, Kevin Byers coming back, Malcolm Butler. We're gonna probably get see Adoree Jackson for maybe a series or two. Logan Ryan coming back from injury. We get to see how Amani Hooker looks as well. David Long is another guy that's going to get a look. And I want to say DeAndre Walker as well is going to probably get a chance to get a look because I haven't really heard much about him. I haven't heard a lot about DeAndre Walker. I've heard a little bit about David Long. I've heard a lot about Amani Hooker during this training camp, but I haven't heard a lot from DeAndre Walker. So I don't know what's going on because you're not going to have AJ Brown, you're not going to have Jeffrey Simmons, you're going to have Nate Davis, Amani Hooker, DeAndre Walker, and David Long. So we're going to have 4 of our 6 draft picks on the field. So that's going to be very interesting. But I think the main thing I'm looking for defensively is who steps up on the defensive line. How does the first string secondary look with Butler, Jackson, Ryan, Vaccaro, and Byard, and then throw in Amani Hooker as well. I think there was another corner. I believe his name is Kareem Orr. I want to say I may have had his name wrong. He's another guy that's kind of been standing out in practices, and so he's going to get his opportunity as well. So we're definitely going to find out, and those are going to be some very important position battles and some main reps. Who are going to be some of the corners behind the big 3? LaShawn Sims, we know what happens with him. Kenneth Durden is another guy. Like I said, Kareem Orr is another guy that was an undrafted rookie corner. Dane Cruikshank, maybe they give him a try at corner at some point, maybe just to see what he does and things like that. So that's going to be some very important reps. Another thing I forgot to mention is going to be very important. This is going to be Arthur Smith's first time actually calling plays. How does he call plays? How does he develop a rapport with Marcus Mariota in live action? So what's going to be happening there? That's going to be some very interesting things that's going to be going on. Marcus Mariota saying that Finch is a player to watch. C-Dub says Finch and Landry are going to do great. Mark my words, they're going to use Evans as an edge rusher too. We're going to definitely find out that. J.R. Brown, somebody that Classic Ride wants to see. Delanie will be fresh as a daisy in the middle of the year. Cameron Wake better bring out his inner Incredible Hulk. I can't lie. Cameron Wake looks like an Incredible Hulk. He does. At 37, that guy has a body I want to have. He has the body I wanted to have at 27. I wanted to have that kind of body. As you can see, I'm not anywhere close to that. And I have the bad, I'm not, it ain't working. I'm just saying. But let's see. Wake learned from Joey Porter and Jason Taylor. Now, that is true. And he had his defensive line coach, Tyrell Williams, right there with him as well. So that is something. I think by the end of the year, he'll be a mentor, James Sally says. He's going to definitely be a mentor to the others, to Finch, to Landry, and Roberson coming in. So, yeah, I definitely agree. Let's see. CW says who's gonna make a great impact. Marcus is Adam Humphries, and Marcus is Adam Humphries. I'm not sure I understand the comment. Very underrated player. Let's see. Austin Johnson should be cut. Should Austin Johnson be cut? Yeah, let's answer some of those questions. Basically, we're having a pick my brain session as I'm talking. So, who's going to make a great impact? Now, that is a good question. I think early on, Cameron Wake could make a very big impact on his defense. I think that Sharif Finch can make an impact late. I think Byard is going to be out to prove he was worth the contract and basically saying, look, I am the best safety in NFL. Deion Sanders, deal with it. I can see that. I'm looking for Dory Jackson to break out. I'm looking for him to have a better year because he started off pretty good. He tampered off toward the end of the year defensively. I'm finally waiting to see what Daquan Jones can do and everything. James Sally brought up a good point. Austin Johnson, I didn't even mention him. I think Austin Johnson is in trouble. I think Austin Johnson could very well get cut because, I mean, especially if Jarrell Casey comes back, if Brent Urban looks good, if Daquan Jones does something, maybe in the middle, in the nose tackle position, I could see a situation where Austin Johnson gets cut at some point during the year. I think no matter what, it's his last year in Tennessee, no matter what. And it's a shame. Um, and I'm looking mainly on the defensive side at the moment. Offensively, I think Adam Humphries and Delanie Walker are going to be Marcus's best friends. I think they're going to be his bailout options. And, again, like I said last week, Adam Humphries, 61% of his catches that he made last year for Tampa Bay went for first downs. That is going to be important. That extends drives. That moves the chains. And that keeps things going so we can march down the field. Instead of kicking field goals or punting, we're scoring touchdowns. So that's going to be something that I hope to see more of. Delanie Walker, same thing. I don't know how John is going to be when he comes back. I hope he comes back and does something because he was starting to come along as the season went on. But of course, he got hurt in the Jacksonville game on that 99-yard touchdown run from Derrick Henry. So we're definitely going to find out something. You know what, CW, you're absolutely right. Jeffrey Simmons, I think, makes Austin Johnson very expendable. If not this season, Austin Johnson's not going to get a new contract. He's going to be gone. Jeffrey Simmons is going to take over. And Jeffrey Simmons may be back much sooner than that. He could definitely be back maybe in December, maybe for that last stretch of games, maybe help us push it to the playoffs. I think if we're at a playoff push, he's going to definitely get some time. If we're eliminated, then maybe not so much, just save him for next season. Or they may say, you know what, let's get him some reps in here so he at least gets a few. But I'll be interested to see what happens when Jeffrey Simmons does return, if he returns sooner than December, which I highly doubt. But I do expect to see Jeffrey Simmons maybe at some point toward the end of the year. And I think he does make Austin Johnson expendable. Let's see. CW says, why is Jalen Ramsey with his big mouth with Jaguars? Let's see. Of course, yeah, Jalen Ramsey does have a big mouth. Henry does steamroll over him, which I think is why he wants to be on our side. He said, CW says, I don't see J. Rob going after him in free agency. And if Adoree Jackson takes a big step, we have Marcus Conklin and Henry. Agreed. I do agree with that. And I mean, now, if Jack Conklin does well this season, I definitely see Jack Conklin getting an extension before season's end. It might be like more of a short-term extension, maybe like a 3-year deal. I wouldn't really go 4 or 5 on Jack Conklin. I'll probably go maybe 2 or 3 years, I think is what I would do with Jack Conklin. With Marcus, maybe 3 to 4 years. It just depends on what happens with him. If he just can make it through the year and not get hurt, that's just the main thing. And that's the thing that I think everybody is going to be watching out for. Derrick Henry, $10 million a year, I just don't think he'll get. I could see him maybe at around $7-8 million, and I don't think Derrick Henry really cares. Because you haven't really heard him bring up anything about a contract, and that's really the good thing. We haven't had anybody talking about holding out or anything like that. You haven't heard Henry holding out. You haven't heard Marcus holding out. You haven't heard Byard hold out. And Byard got a new deal. So, I mean, I could definitely see where Derrick Henry gets a new deal. He's not going to get Le'Veon Bell, Todd Gurley type of money, but I could see where Derrick gets maybe $7-8 million depending on how he does. Now, if he gets over 1,300 yards, then yeah, $9-10 million a year for a running back might be nice. But I don't know if that's good. I don't know if that's too much money. That might be a little bit too rich for our blood. So that's something we have to definitely consider. As Ross said, Daquan Jones can't do a damn thing. I've actually been saying that for a couple of years. So what do I know? you know, let's see. CW says Daquan Jones. I've heard reports has worked his butt off all season. Going to be nose tackle. Be the nose tackle. The injury 2 years ago really hurt his development, which is true because he was coming along pretty well before that game against Indianapolis year before last, where he got hurt. So that was definitely true. Daquan is a push the pocket type of player, doesn't get the stats. Yeah. Now with Brent Urban, I don't expect a lot out of him, but the fact that he did play in Dean Pease's defense, he has some familiarity, is a good thing. That's I think the main reason they brought him in was because of that. Because I want to say I was thinking about Muhammad Wilkerson, and I think there was another guy that was available that I thought they could have brought in, but they brought in Brent Urban instead. Henry will get. Let's see. CW says Henry will get 7 to 8 million. That's fine. And if he likes that, if he is like the last month of last year, that's a steal. I agree with that. 7 8 million. I can work with that. I think I think everybody will be fine with that if it's around the 7-8 million range. Now, if you're getting, I think 9 is a little bit too rich, but I'll take my chances. Going into double digits, I wouldn't do that because the everybody knows the life expectancy of a running back is 3 to 4 years tops normally, and very few exceed that because the running back position, it takes a big time toll on the body. You got to carry the rock. You always run into the defense. You have to pass block and pass protect. It does take its toll on the body, especially when you touching the ball, 2, 3, 400 times a year. It definitely takes its toll. Like I really think at some point within the next couple of years, that's going to take a toll on Zeke unless he just holds out this entire year. But I think that's what's going to happen. Um, Zeke and Melvin Gordon are both holding out right now from their teams. Melvin Gordon either wants a new deal or wants to get traded. Zeke wants a new deal and he got 2 years left. They figure, well, we'll go the Le'Veon Bell route. He got his money from a different team the following year. The thing about Zeke is Zeke got 2 years left on his deal, and it's on a rookie deal. He can't go anywhere. He can't do anything, so he might as well just show up. Melvin Gordon, on the other hand, is coming to the end of his rookie deal, and he's holding out. But I mean, I don't know. The Chargers got Phillip Rivers to think about if he doesn't decide to retire. They got some other guys, Melvin Ingram. They got Joey Bosa to think about and stuff like that. So Derwin James eventually is going to want to get paid. So Mike Williams, wide receiver, he's going to want to get paid. So the Chargers are going to have some problems. Let's see. CW says Brent Urban is going to be solid. What will help him is his height being 6'7". I won't want to stand next to that guy because I'll look like a Oompa Loompa compared to him. So, yes, and I agree, C-Dub. Titans have a lot of unselfish players. Contract time, some of them might take a little less to help the team out. That's where the divas hurt you. I do agree with that. And again, I like that. There are a lot of guys on this team that are very unselfish. Like I said, Marcus is probably going to take a little less. You would think with a quarterback like that, he'll probably take $30 million. You think he get $30 million. I think he's going to be somewhere around 20, maybe 25, if not less. Marcus is not the type of guy that's going to, basically command big money. But I don't even think Marcus really cares about money. He just wants to be on this team and help his team out. So I think Marcus is going to work with the Titans. I think Henry will do the same thing. Conklin, I don't know yet. but we'll find out. We're definitely going to find out. Let's see. Joseph says, if I have to make a prediction, we could win the AFC South championship in Week 15 against Houston, Week 16 against New Orleans, or Week 17 at Houston. Now, it depends on where we are at that point. Our schedule is extremely difficult, and that's something that we're definitely going to go over. It is a very, very difficult schedule, but it is one that the Titans can get through. I would, if the Titans were in that position, I would rather them wrap it up week 15 against Houston or week 16 against New Orleans. That way, that last week is a toss-up game. You can rest some guys and get them ready for the playoffs. So that would be something that I would like to see happen, but it's probably going to come down to the wire. You know how the Titans are. CW said Andrew Luck is struggling with a foot injury. I wanted to say it was like a calf injury or something like that. I've heard that he's struggling with that. If he's banged up before the season starts, Titans could win the division. If Marcus does get a payday, he'll probably take a Brady type deal. I would hope that Marcus does go like the Brady route. It would be cool if he did. As far as Andrew Luck is concerned, let me preface by saying this. I never wish bad injuries or bad things happening to anybody. I would not wish that on anybody. However, in this situation, and this is not Chris Newell, the analyst, or Chris Newell, the reporter, talking to you. This is Chris Newell, the fan, talking to you. I'm glad Luck is hurting. I would rather him have this struggle with him the whole season. I would rather something happen and Luck is out the entire year. Because you know what? He's been nothing but bad luck for us. And I would love it if he missed week 2. I would love it if something happened to him and he was out the whole season. You're daggone right. I know everybody says, yes, we need to beat the Colts, beat Luck. I don't care. If Andrew Luck ain't playing, that makes it easier for us to beat the Colts. I will take whatever victory I can give you because everybody kept talking 2 years ago when we beat Jacoby Brissett. Twice, and we're like, well, we didn't beat Luck. We didn't beat Luck. I'm like, does it matter? We beat the Colts twice. We beat them twice. So I will take that without thinking twice. Plain and simple. I'll take that. No problem. So if Luck is hurt, that does wonders for us. That's all that matters. Now, let me go back to being the analyst, the reporter, Chris. Let's see. James has said, I want Luck to be ready to play on week 2. That way we can smash him. Well, I'm hoping he doesn't smash us, but that is a pretty big day because that is, number 1, the home opener. Number 2, we officially retire Eddie George and Steve McNair's jerseys, which I hope gives the team a little bit of an adrenaline boost to beat them. That would be great. And you would like to beat a team when they're at 100%. That way there is no excuses. There is no asterisks by it. So that will be something important. CW says, I like the Texans roster, but don't have the O-line to protect Watson, and that will be their downfall. They just don't learn. Some GMs putting elite quarterbacks behind trash O-lines like the Seahawks. Yeah, the Texans, this division is going to be very, very good again. It's going to go down to the wire yet again. And that's something that we're going to definitely be talking about in the coming weeks. Definitely going to be breaking down some of these teams. The Houston Texans, you got Deshaun Watson, you got Lamar Miller, you got DeAndre Hopkins is as good as he's always been. Will Fuller is a speedster. Definitely. J.J. Watt's always a problem. Jadeveon Clowney, I believe he's holding out right now, but I think he's going to end that holdout and come on back because he's under the franchise tag. That's going to be pretty good. Tyrann Mathieu, of course, is with the Texans. He's gone to the Chiefs now. So I think the Texans secondary has taken a step back a little bit. But Deshaun Watson and DeAndre Hopkins, J.J. Watt, that's going to be a problem still. Jacksonville, now they have a quarterback with Nick Foles. But what happens with their running back position? Because, Leonard Fournette has been up and down. Do they have any wide receiver weapons that could be very beneficial? They got who was it that they drafted in the first round? It was somebody that fell directly to them that I don't think anybody wanted them to get. I know Jawan Taylor from Florida was their second round pick. I want to say their first round pick. Who was it? It was somebody that was supposed to be in give me a second, y'all. I gotta see who was that Jags first round pick because I knew it was like because when I watched it in the draft, I'm like, oh no, I was hoping anybody but him. But I want to say he was a pass rusher. Let me see. Yeah, Jawan Taylor, second round. That's it. Josh Allen. I hated the Jaguars getting that guy. And, Yannick Ngakoue was holding out as well, was holding out from the Jag, but that's going to be a problem too. We're going to be facing some good defenses in our division. And Josh Allen falling to the Jags at 7 was the worst thing that could happen for the Tennessee Titans. That was somebody I did not want anybody in the division to get, and the Jag, he just fell in their lap. But honestly, if it was the same situation, I would have took Josh Allen too. That was why, if y'all saw me at the draft party back during the draft, you could go back and watch that episode along with all other episodes that you may have missed. I was banging on the table for Montez Sweat. Now I haven't really heard a lot from Sweat, but I'm hearing he's doing pretty well in Washington. That's going to be a problem, and we all know that Jacksonville defense can be very, very good, but there are a bunch of hotheads too. So we're definitely going to be seeing what some things going to happen there. We know the Colts defense with Darius Leonard, with Jabal Sheard, who might be out the first few games of the year. That Colts defense is still pretty darn good. So we got a lot to work with. We got a lot to deal with on that. So I hate the Jags got Josh Allen. I really do. That is going to freak me out, seeing Josh Allen getting after Marcus. But I think we have the tackles that can hold him up, that could delay him. Let's see. CW said, Chris, last year that Raven game, Marcus was getting destroyed. Why didn't the full call screen pass to allow to slow down? That's a very good question. And that's something that Arthur Smith is going to have to deal with, and he's going to have to answer. He's going to have to be able to help Marcus out to protect him. And, screen passes can do that. Short, intermediate passes can do that. He's got to get the ball out as quickly as possible. Marcus cannot hold on to the ball for a long period of time, because if he does that, that leads to sacks. You got to be decisive. He can't just wait for a receiver to be open. You need to throw it to the spot where the receiver is supposed to be, and you got to trust that your receiver is going to get there. If you wait till the receiver is open, two things are going to happen. A, you're going to get sacked, or B, even if you throw the ball, the defender is going to get a run on that route and be able to pick it off or break it up. So Marcus is going to have to get better with his anticipation and just trust his guys to be there where they're supposed to be. And those receivers have got to get to where they're supposed to be. With that, I heard Jared Jared and the GM earlier today a little bit, and they were talking about Corey, and they were talking about some things he has to get better with. And Floyd basically said 4 things that were very important that Corey Davis is going to have to do to be that elite receiver. And I'm trying to make sure I remember this correctly. I know I'm not going to say it in any basic order, but it is, when he becomes good, number one, he's going to have to be able to get off the press. He's going to have to be able to get off the press because receivers are going to try to jam him at the line. He's going to have to find a way to get off of that jam. Number two, develop multi-step route, like develop a double move or something like that. Develop a double move. Number three, how are you going to fare when you get good and defensive coordinators are going to try to take you away by double teaming you? How do you deal with the double teams? And I want to say, if I can remember correctly, I cannot remember the last thing he said, but I want to say it was get off the press, go against double teams, develop double moves, and what's going to happen when he goes up against number one corners every week. What's going to happen? Because that's going to be the case. Every team is going to put their number one corner on Corey Davis most of the time. They're going to try to take him away. In this instance, if that does happen, you got Delanie, you got AJ, you got Adam, you got John New, you got some other weapons that can help. But if it's all on Corey Davis trying to give him the ball, how does he deal with that? DeAndre Hopkins gets doubled all the time. He's still making over 100 catches a year. Can Corey do the same thing? So that's going to be something very important. Let's see. CW said, do you think J-Rob makes a trade before the season starts? He usually makes one before season kickoff. I don't know. It depends on I think J-Rob will probably make one more signing around cut time, depending on who's available, who gets cut. Some big-time veteran might get cut or some trade may happen. J-Rob, he's always looking at some stuff. He's always looking at something on the free agency or trade ticker. That's something that he's always been doing. So that would be very interesting. James Addy says the four is a joke. I agree with that. I don't think he's going to do very well in Green Bay because but we all know Aaron Rodgers is the head coach of that team. Big Boss said, not worried about Jags. We handled them pretty well. But, Josh Allen is a freak of nature. We got to see how he does. But, yeah, we've handled the Jags pretty well. We've beaten them, I want to say, 4 times in a row. Well, no, I take that back. 6 times in a row, we've beaten the Jags. We've swept the Jags 3 straight years. So that's going to be something to think about. Let's see. What's going on with the Jags? Solid linebackers. Miles Jack, Telvin Smith. Now, Telvin Smith is taking that year off. Telvin Smith taking that year off. I agree. That does hurt the Jags a little bit. I've heard that the Titans have been working on making Davis a better deep threat. Marcus Mariota saying that. Yeah, he should be a better deep threat. I agree. He needs to be the focal point of the passing attack. Get the ball to Davis. Davis, even with Delanie and with Adam Humphries in the lineup and A.J. Brown, Corey Davis should have no less than 80 catches. He should have about 80 catches, maybe 11 to 1,200 yards. That's what I'm expecting. That's what I want. Yeah, we got killed by the Ravens at home. Yeah, those 11 sacks still haunts me to this day. The player I want J-Rod to bring in is Clowney. That's if Clowney, sometimes Clowney takes plays off from time to time. He will be great to bring in, but he'll be expensive. But that does depend on how we do with other contracts. And, of course, with Cam Wake, it's essentially a 1-year deal, basically, because they can let Cam Wake go after this year if they want to. So that would be something interesting. That'll make our front seven a nightmare. Swiss Army knife, Dean Pease defense. I agree because Jadeveon Clowney can line up with his hand in the dirt or standing up, and that would be major. Him and Landry, I wouldn't mind seeing that, but I don't know if he's getting out of Houston. That is the big question. Vrabel's connection with when he was the linebackers coach at Houston. Now that is a very interesting point. I could see J Rob going after him for Vrabel's sake because Vrabel does have some familiarity. So I could see that happening. That would be very interesting, but I'm not necessarily sure if it's going to be worth the money because he's going to be very, very expensive. Um, let's see, big ball. We got weapons at wide receiver. Marcus struggles, then it's on him. I think he'll be fine. He's a dark horse for MVP. I don't know about MVP just yet. That might be going a little bit putting the cart before the horse. I think Marcus got a very good year with the wide receivers. I expect him to get at least 25 touchdowns this year. I think he does way more than 13. I definitely agree with that. I think LaFleur did not think enough of deep shots to Davis often enough, but with Adam and Delanie, with medium and short targets that will clear out space. And I hear Arthur is more aggressive. I would like to see some aggressive play calling. I would like to see that. Tomorrow night, we're going to see what they do with that. Maybe he does take a shot or two. And I mean, even if it's incomplete, you just want to see them take some shots. That way, teams are like, we know that's there, so we got to account for that, and that can open up some things on the inside. Let's see, CW, thinking about this future front seven: Casey Simmons, Landry, Evans, Brown, Clowney. Damn. That would be a very scary front seven. You got Casey Simmons, but we would still need another defensive lineman to go along on that side with them. But I would love to see that. Um, I would love to I think the one thing that we're missing, if you have Casey and Simmons, is just that big monster nose tackle that could just eat up the middle. If you have that with Simmons and Casey, then you have Landry, and then you have Wake or Clowney. You have Brown and Evans. Yeah, that would be a very scary front seven. I definitely agree with that. But we're going to find out. I'm glad football is back, and I'm glad it's keeping going. So we're going to definitely find out tomorrow night what this team kind of looks like a bit. But let's get to the end of the show topic. And, I was hearing some stuff around the NFL about Antonio Brown. Of course, remember, he was thought to be sought after by the Titans. He's, of course, with the Raiders. And they were saying that he's dealing with a foot injury, and it may have been caused by a frostbite he was dealing with when he was in a cryogenic chamber, I guess, trying to heal that foot. So apparently, Antonio Brown went through some cryotherapy for that foot. And that's basically exposing the body to minus 200 degree cold to basically focus on one area of the body, in this case, his foot, to try to get it healed. And I guess something happened where he ended up having a frostbite, which caused which caused a little bit of an injury to his foot. When I found out it was a frostbite, I couldn't help but giggle. I'm like, what are you doing in a cryogenic chamber anyway? I'm like, this isn't Austin Powers. This isn't where you freeze in a cryogenic sleep for 40 years and then you come back out into the future. I'm like, you trying to take your foot into 2025 or something like that? What are you doing? So that had me cracking up. And stuff like that. But Antonio Brown, he's gonna be a circus act out there in LA. And of course, the Oakland Raiders, or should I say future Las Vegas Raiders, are the team on Hard Knocks, and that episode just debuted last night. That is going to be very interesting to see how him, Derek Carr, John Gruden, how all of them get along. That is going to be a very, very interesting thing going on. We need our Casey Hayward. James Hayden. I don't know. I mean, he's out there in LA with the Chargers. He's been doing pretty well out there, so I'm not sure about that. Let's see. CW said, I think Daquan will surprise us. That they Benny Logan and Sly Williams were just space eaters, and that's it. We'll have to find out. Let's see. CW Sally Steelers also have Truitt, who is great too. He's regretting going to the Raiders once a skip pass this year. Now that I agree, once Once there's some passes not going his way, he's gonna be upset about that. You know he's gonna come out. You know he's gonna talk. So it's gonna be a comedic sideshow in Oakland with the Raiders and everything. So, um, you know, Mike Mularkey's a coach somewhere now. I didn't know he was a coach. Is he in Cleveland or something like that, Joseph? Tell me which team is he on. I understand Munchak is the offensive line coach still in Pittsburgh, even though he got interviewed for I think he got interviewed for the Denver job, and I think he got interviewed for the Arizona job as well before Kingsbury and Vic Fangio respectfully got those jobs. Now, dealing with Wisenhunt is going to be a problem because Wisenhunt's gonna think he knows this team, but this is a whole different offense and defense than what he was dealing with. But I don't think Mularkey is a coach anywhere right now. I haven't heard anything, so that's gonna be something. But everybody, it's been over an hour, so that means my time is pretty much up. Um, and let's see. So Malarkey's in Atlanta. Let me see. I'm gonna have to look that up just to make sure. Let me see. Let me see. Give me just a moment. Okay, I got it. So he's back to being the tight ends coach in Atlanta. And that's going to be very interesting. So yeah, you're absolutely right. He is so Mike Mularkey and Terry Robisky are both in Atlanta. Very, very interesting. I thought Robisky was in Buffalo. I thought so. Robiscus and Mularkey is in Atlanta. So that's very interesting. Um, so yeah, we're going to be facing our former head coaches, but I don't think that really matters. I don't think that really matters at all. So we'll definitely see what's going on there. But everybody, I'm about to get out of here. I thank everybody for tuning in. Make sure again y'all share this show out and start following me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter if you haven't already. Subscribe to that channel. I want y'all to hit that button if you haven't already. And because again, I want 500 followers. And then when we do that game by game prediction show, I'm gonna be giving away something, and I'm gonna think of a way of how I'm going to give that away on that. So stay tuned for that, and stay tuned as we inch closer to episode 100. I thank y'all for tuning in to Titans and Truth. My name is Chris, aka Blue Enforcer. Y'all have a great night, and let's tighten up.